Hey, how's it going, everybody? And before we start, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more. Any engagement really helps the channel out absolutely tremendously. So here we go. Here are the 4 best Fidelity index funds to triple your money potentially. Here we go. So basically, Fidelity 500 Index Fund, FXAIX, is the first one that I would like to talk about here now. Savvy investors understand the importance of keeping your costs low and options open, and Fidelity funds have become popular because they offer just that. And this is a quote by, of course, Andrew Latham, a certified financial planner and director of content. Um, so basically, he says, with no sales loads, low fees, and no minimum investment requirements, it's easy to start investing without breaking the bank. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So, for example, Fidelity investors can get S&P 500 exposure via FXAIX with no minimum required, investments, trading commissions, or sales loads at a 0.015% expense ratio. A $10,000 investment in FXAIX would expect to incur just $150 in fees annually over the last 10 years. And this is incredibly simple yet effective mutual fund that has delivered a strong 13.8% annualized return, which is actually pretty high. Obviously, you kind of take a look at that 12% annualized as being, like pretty high, and 13.8, like you really can't argue with that, obviously. But it actually gets a lot better. And so basically, the Fidelity Total Market Index Fund is next, FSKAX. Kind of a mouthful here, obviously. Um, so instead, FSKAX tracks the much broader Dow Jones. So basically, these funds are a lot different because a lot of them like could either track the S&P 500, or this one itself pretty much tracks the broader Dow Jones US total stock market index, which spans about 3,900 holdings. So unlike the S&P 500, the Dow Jones US total stock market index also includes thousands more mid and small cap stocks, making it more diversified. But still, the index is market cap weighted, so its top holdings resemble that of the S&P 500, with the slightly lower weight. So it really just depends on what your risk tolerance is when you're kind of debating whether or not you want to invest in these. The next one is Fidelity International Index Fund, FSPSX. Now, I digress for a second too. It's also these are also kind of balanced in the sense that, like, okay, let's just say that something completely goes under, like in terms of the US stock market or something. Okay. Let's just say that happens, like a 2008 financial crisis sort of thing. Then some of these, depending on what mutual fund you invest in, or depending on what index fund, I should say, whatever you invest in, mutual fund, index fund, doesn't matter, whatever. The point is that, like, if you invest, let's just say, in an international fund, then this could be maybe potentially beneficial for you, again, if there's a 2008 financial crisis in the US, because basically an international fund kind of, like, maybe could outperform, I'm saying, if such a black swan event or whatever could occur here. Okay, so instead of converting currency or relying on American depository receipts, ADRs, investors can buy FSPSX. This fund tracks the Morgan Stanley Capital International Europe Far East Index, which spans more than 700 holdings with developed market countries. It is fairly tax efficient with a 4% annual portfolio turnover rate, and it charges a minimal 0.035% expense ratio. So again, I just wanted to, preface all of that by saying, just be aware that this may not, like, outperform other ones if there's no such black swan event or anything like that. But if there is, it could, obviously. I mean, there's a track record of certain international index funds outperforming the U.S., I mean, and certain, whatever, index funds when there is such a black swan event, etc. Fidelity Zero Total Market Index Fund, FZROX, which is the last one I'm going to be talking about today. So this fund exposure similar to FSKAX, but it's via a different benchmark instead of replicating the broader Dow Jones U.S. Total Stock Market Index. FSKAX samples the proprietary Fidelity U.S. Total Investable Market Index, which spans more than 2,500 holdings with a minimal 2% annual turnover rate in order to offset costs. The fund is also able to lend securities to generate income. So all of this, you should keep all of this in mind. Obviously, do your own research, as I always say, and also, look at other videos talking about, some of these Fidelity, funds as well, these index funds here, because it's definitely worth talking about, at least, in the broader sense. So remember to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.